So next I want to walk you through Netlab Plus, and what we'll do is we'll go through registering for a time period and then actually knock out the first lab. So if you're in Canvas, right, in the modules, in fact, let's back out of here, let's go home, and then you're doing module 2, you go to Netlab Plus. This is the first Netlab assignment that you have to do. And then you're looking here, okay, so I need to do in a Linux Plus install Lab 01 Alpha and Lab 01 Bravo. So if you forget where the, if you can forget the URL for Netlab, you can just go here. We'll open up a new tab, take a look at course software, and your information for Netlab is right here. So we'll go ahead and open that. Notice your username is going to be your student ID, and then the default password is going to be password1, and this is case sensitive. I will log in as a test student. As soon as you log in, you'll see that you have the option to make a new lab reservation. So we'll go ahead and schedule the lab. Just as we had noted in our Canvas, right, we've got Linux Plus install Lab 1 Alpha and Bravo. So this is the one that we want. Later on in the course, we'll be required to do labs from these two modules here. Now we'll click there. You can see the two labs that we have listed, and we'll go ahead and schedule the lab. Now note that there are these pods, right? And we have about 30 pods, so plenty enough pods to work from. There shouldn't be any conflict in regards to scheduling. You can see that there's somebody scheduled here. I will go ahead, and that schedule is actually, that reservation is actually expired. And as you can see here, if I click here, I can schedule for the lab for right now. So you don't necessarily need to schedule in advance. Of course, if you have a particular time and you're worried about somebody scheduling and not having access, you can always do that. Alright, so notice that I have 43 minutes available to me now. I can extend that by going to this option here. We don't need more than 43. Well, let's do more than 13 minutes just in case. You know what, in fact, that is actually something we'll do. So we'll reserve the lab for 13 minutes, and then I'll show you how to extend it. So we'll go ahead and submit that. My reservation is scheduled. And now you can see here I have this reservation set for Pod 1000 Linux Plus install, and the option to enter the lab, which we'll do. Entering the pod sounds very sci-fi. Notice here I've got 12 minutes of my time remaining. If I want to request more time because the time's running out, I can do so here. And then it automatically extends me for 30 minutes. So let's see. First thing that I'll want to do is download the content. So you can work via these tabs, right? And to begin the lab, what we're going to do is install CentOS, and Ubuntu is the second lab, but we'll focus on CentOS here. Read and review this stuff. This is context in regards to the lab. That's the network topology. This is the lab settings that you'll need to enter. And this is the start of the lab. So as it indicates here, we can go to the topology and double click, and we'll go ahead and do that. One of the things that I want to make note for you is you can download this lab. Let's go ahead and do that. And then what I recommend is if you have a second monitor, just go ahead and pull that out and put it on your second monitor. I will look at the document here, and then I'll bring it up here so you can see what I'm seeing from time to time. But I definitely recommend you have that available and look at it yourself while we're working through the lab. Alright, so go into the CentOS server and looking at our lab instructions. If you see here, we're on step 3, so it didn't even give us this page, and that's fine. We'll go ahead and skip that. Going back to the sent server. Now you can navigate here, getting things into the screen. Make sure you click in the screen. That's what's going to allow you to be able to move through options. And I can use my arrows or tab and then hit enter to select. We're going to select skip. Hit enter here. Next, we're going to select English and the US for the keyboard. For this error, which is a VMware error, we're going to reinitialize all. We're going to select, and you see me tapping, by the way. So I'm going to tab to OK. Then this is in the lab, set to the password in the lab. We'll go ahead and hit OK. Recognizing that it's a weak password. When you set passwords personally, professionally, you make sure that you use a legit password. For the sake of this lab, we'll press in accordance with the lab. Let's see, we are content. Reinitialize, select the lab password. Alright, so in accordance with the instructions, we will use the entire drive. Selecting the screen, hit OK. We'll write the changes to the disk. And this will go ahead and install CentOS. And this is going to take a few minutes. Probably get yourself a nice cup of coffee while you wait. I did not mention this previously, but in addition to using the topology to start a workstation, you can also come here to some of these options, including power on, power off, Control-Alt-Delete to reboot. Likewise here for Ubuntu. Check back in our server. Almost done. All right. I'll just give that a few more moments. Once that's finished, we'll reboot the server and then log in to change some of the server settings. Looks like we're almost there. While this is installing, I'm taking a look further into the directions. So what we're going to do is we're going to reboot, as I indicated. Then we'll be logging in. We'll be logging into the root via the password that we set previously, which was training with a 1 for the second I, and that will bring us to the option to be able to access root. Which will bring us to configuration changes step here. Alright, looks like we're good to go. Once we log in and we log in with our root and password, we'll be at this stage right here. Let's take a look. Alright, there we go. We'll use root, password, if you, for whatever reason, forget your password, not all is lost, most is lost though. You'll have to end your reservation and basically restart. So try not to do that. So at this point you see I've logged in, and you can tell because I've got that pound symbol right there. What we're going to do is we're going to use the CD option, and CD stands for change directory, and we're going to change directory to the grub folder. So now you can see here it says root localhost grub. That's an indication that I'm in the grub folder. And I am going to list the files in this folder. And what I'm looking for is the grub configuration file. And when I hit enter, this indicates to me that that file is present in this folder and that it's rewritable. So next, in step 3, I'm going to create a backup, and that is typically done by adding an extension. So we'll go ahead and add the orig extension. And what we're doing right here is we're creating a copy of it. So CP is for copy. And then if I look using the asterisk is a wildcard, it should show me 2 files. And you can see that now. I have both the grub config and the grub config original, which is the file that we're not going to mess with. So if I need a backup, that's the one that we would use. Alright, so the cat command allows us to display the contents of a file. So cat grub config, and what you're seeing right here, starting from this point here, is the file. Alright, and that brings us to step 4. Yep. Alright, so in accordance with the instructions, we'll go ahead and reboot it this time. Do that, we just make sure it clicked in the screen, hit reboot. So the instructions are highlighting how we're going directly into the login prompt after booting up. Which is exactly what we did. Alright, so we're logged in again. We're going to go back to the grub folder and display the grub configuration file. And the instructions, we're on step 7 now. Forgive me if I'm going too fast. Email me if you need additional guidance. Let's see, so the instructions are highlighting a couple of things for us. First, this hidden menu, which we bypassed, and that's what it was calling out. And then this timeout feature. Here's some information about the v-editor, which is a common document type editor in Linux. So in order to be able to utilize the v-editor, we will use this command here. And what we're doing is we're going to go in, edit the configuration file, and we're going to change the timeout to, let's see, 30? Okay, change the timeout to 30 and then hide the hidden menu with a pound sign. Let's go ahead and do that. So using the X key, I've deleted the 5. Then the A key will enter us in insert mode. You can see that because it says insert at the bottom. I will insert 30 as such. Then I'm going to move down to the wrong screen. Move down to the hidden menu. Insert the pound sign. Get back to the right screen. I think we're good. Yep. Okay, so escape. Then colon X saves our file. Okay. So at this point we're going to go ahead and reboot, and that should show us the menu that we weren't seeing previously. There we go. This is the reboot menu. Success. We'll go ahead and enter CentOS, and that'll bring us right back to the root, or the login, where we can log in with root. Let's see, then the last step is 19, where we're going to shut down CentOS by specifying the shutdown time to be now. Shut down now. And that's it. Pretty straightforward. Any questions, concerns, please again feel free to reach out. Thanks.